All right, thank you, Anthony. Guys, I don't know why this popped into my head.
It's gonna take over.
But I feel like I'm curious what your take is on this if this happened, and I'll admit that the odds of this happening are probably less than 1%. But we've talked in the last 24 hours a lot about signing Jameis Winston or not signing him, and we talked a lot about are there better options? Doesn't seem to be any obvious better options that the Browns can get their hands on. Mm-hmm. And then it occurred to me.
Danny Dimes.
No. That would be boring. I wouldn't bring that up.
Okay.
What if this guy's going to be a free agent?
Okay.
Or if he's not, I think.
Sam Darnold.
No. Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, Lord.
Would you want Aaron Rodgers for a year? Now, can't imagine there's any way that Aaron Rodgers would come here. But if it were a possibility, would you want Aaron Rodgers for a year?
No.
No, you're out.
No.
You don't think he's got it anymore? Now, his team's been terrible this year.
No.
And they, like the Browns, had a lot of optimism from their fan base this season.
I want no parts of Aaron Rodgers, man. Like Aaron Rodgers.
17 touchdowns, 7 picks.
Are you insinuating that you want him on this team?
I'm curious your opinion, and I'll give you my opinion at the end. But go ahead.
I told you long ago that I watched Aaron Rodgers do some things live in person, like I seen it, like it was right there. And I've always had a ton of respect for Aaron Rodgers to the point that I would never really disrespect Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. Would I take him on the Browns next year is the question?
Yes.
If they got him, they would have to get a true bona fide number one wide receiver.
Yes, that's true.
That would be my answer to your question. If they got a bona fide number one.
Does Devontae Adams count as that anymore or no?
Is Devontae a bona fide number one wide receiver? I mean, he still got some stuff to him. I don't think people fear him the way that he used to be. No.
Okay.
Man, this is the easiest question you've ever asked.
Really?
Let me start this game.
I'll tell you what, you talk about, you think Deshaun had controversies too.
So this is the thing.
You got 2 controversial quarterbacks on the roster? Man.
This is why I'm a little baffled, because people aren't reading the tea leaves in this. The tea leaves, if you sitting here saying, we just asked a week ago about Kevin Stefanski and everybody getting fired. Remember? Mm-hmm. We talked about who's on the hot seat. So if everybody wants to say they're fine for this year, great. But when you start next year automatically on the hot seat.
That's fair.
It ain't even a joke. It's okay, we let you slide this year. If the Browns come out and they drop to 0-3, what it's going to be?
I don't know.
It's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
They will get fired in the middle of the year.
No, the Browns don't do that.
He's done it plenty of times.
Plenty of times.
Yeah.
Why would you?
They're not firing.
Are you sure?
They're not firing them until after the year.
I'm just saying, if they let them ride now and they start off next year poorly, what are you going to say?
Jimmy's fired guys in the middle of the season.
He's going to fire them immediately.
He has done that.
So my thing is this. If I'm a coach and I'm a smart individual, I need to maximize my ability to stick around. Now, do I want to bring in a blank canvas quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, who's stuck in his ways, who brings controversy as well, who just got Robert Saleh police escorted out of the building?
Man,
that's a fact.
That's a fact. Get up out of here. You want to bring that guy in to help save your career so you can have Deshaun Watson and Aaron Rodgers on the roster.
That's what I said.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine the Sharks circling in that tank?
Oh, my God.
They would be like, so the Cleveland Browns didn't learn from the Jets. They got to keep Deshaun Watson. And now you're talking about Aaron Rodgers going in a 24-hour period talking about vaccines and sleeping in the dark. And Deshaun Watson coming back talking about, listen, he's ready to go and he still feels he's a starting quarterback. Yeah. What is wrong? No. This is why I be trying to ask people. I'm like, I'm supposed to be the Duke of knee jerk. I'm supposed to be the dude that does things emotionally. That's the craziest thing. You know what I do?
I'm glad I brought it up.
I'd bring back. I'm like, listen, I need somebody that's going to run this offense, because if you think about it like this, can you afford to say we're going to bring in a guy? And then he said, and then our beat reporters, our people, our media says this every single year. Well, guys, it can't be the coach's fault because, we had the injuries. It's the first year of a system. Guys are learning it. We always knew it was going to start off slow. It's a work in progress. How many times are you going to say that when you were the cause for your slow progress? You did that.
So you're out. Tyvis, you're in, kind of, on Aaron Rodgers.
I'm on the fence.
All right.
I have to see that.
I brought it up, but there was not a chance on earth I'd want Aaron Rodgers here. Zero. Not interested.
Even with Devontae Adams, who has less than 500 yards on 44 catches this year?
Well, he's missed some games, to be fair to him. How many games has he played?
Let me go check.
According to my boy Mike Thomas, only time that when he was all pro, he got the ball fed to him 160 times.
Mike Thomas is coming off awfully bitter right now.
He just has some strong words for Derek Carr.
Why, Drew Brees wasn't feeding him the ball?
Well, I think his point was he got 100 catches off like 160 targets, and he's like, anybody should be able to do that.
If you weren't that good, you wouldn't get 160 targets.
Force fed.
It's rough. Like, I don't know, man. Even the people on the outside, like, at some point they laugh at us. Like, they're like, oh,
sure.
We should just suggest things for the Browns to do so we can watch it be a little nasty little experiment over there.
I got something to ask you. Remember back when they put that fake trade out that the Browns should trade to the Lions, Myles Garrett to the Lions for like all them first round
I don't know,
picks.
they call it a fake trade. More like a
whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
Were you in favor of that trade?
I think I was.
Were you in favor of that trade?
No.
Oh yeah, I was, because it was an absurd amount. The Lions would have never made that trade.
So let me ask you,
Yeah.
after Myles Garrett's performance on Thursday, are you still in favor of that trade?
In that trade, the Browns were getting Jahmyr Gibbs, who's a top 5 running back.
Yeah, I trade my whole fantasy
and 3
team.
first-round
picks. Who has him on fantasy? I'll trade my whole team
I don't know.
for him.
I think I got
3
Jahmyr Gibbs.
There you go.
I would give you my entire roster
Tyvis,
for Jahmyr
as
Gibbs.
much as there's almost no way I would trade Myles Garrett. Like, there's 99 out of 100 scenarios that you could give me. If I could get Jahmyr Gibbs and 3 first-round picks, and it was more than that. It was Gibbs, 3 first-round picks, and more.
It was like a third-round pick.
I would do that. I mean, how could...
To this day.
I would.
After this Thursday night
Only because how many great years does Myles Garrett have left? 2, 3?
Is this...
It's crazy. Now people will turn this into, you want to trade Myles Garrett. I don't want to trade Myles Garrett. But the Lions would never make that trade. Never.
The interesting thing is, the big selling point to you is Jahmyr Gibbs, to where
it's the combination.
Just about a couple years ago, running backs were extinct.
No. It's not just Jahmyr. If it was Jahmyr Gibbs and that's it, of course I wouldn't do it.
No.
If it was Jahmyr Gibbs and 1 first-round pick, I would not do it. But it's 3 first-rounders and Jahmyr.
So you're saying that out of
It
those,
also included a second-round pick.
and a second-round pick.
so out of those picks, they gonna get it right.
Well, no, hold on.
And then
Maybe not.
on top of that, are they gonna develop the players?
Okay, but if I have no faith that they're going to...
So we just gave Myles Garrett away so it turns into Myles Garrett for Jahmyr Gibbs.
Here's the bottom line. If the Browns can't get it right with 3 first-round picks and develop those players, then they're never going to win with Myles Garrett anyway, because they can't do any of those things.
Would you?
Well, you're going to be further away if you ain't
What's
got
the difference?
Myles.
If you,
what do you need? What's the difference?
If you had Jahmyr Gibbs.
What is literally a game changer?
Come on. You know damn well that if the Lions offered Jahmyr Gibbs 3 first-rounders and a second, the Browns would trade Myles Garrett. You know that.
If it was just Jahmyr Gibbs out of the equation, say the Lions said, we're going to do it just on picks. We'll give you 3. We'll give you. I think this trade is actually worth it. If they said, I'll give you 2 first-round picks, a second and a third for Myles Garrett, that's worth it for the Lions.
The Lions would do that.
The Lions should do that.
I think the Browns probably would.
And if you're the Lions and they take that trade,
the Lions are not trading Jahmyr Gibbs.
The Lions, my thought process is, if you offer that trade as the Lions, you got to strike when it's hot right now. you got an opportunity. It does not look like there's a team out there that's going to be a juggernaut in the NFC. You could get to the so now you, especially if Hutchinson is healthy. You have 2 elite defensive ends. You still have the running back. You still got an elite receiver and the quarterback, and one of the best offensive lines.
Can you imagine if Hutchinson and Myles Garrett playing together next year?
From their standpoint, even if you said, "Nah, give me 2 1s and 2 2s,"
I think they would do that. Maybe I'm crazy.
I would do it.
I think they would, and so you would trade Myles Garrett in that scenario.
No.
Hey, you 6-6 in your team. That's nice.
It's just the way it
Tyvis,
falls.
what happened?